And at that time, brother, I had a vision of my son growing up without me, walking with him. And I said to the voice, I said, please let me go. And they gave me the option. He said, we'll let you come back, but you're going to suffer.
Welcome back to the Wealth Easy Show, where we talk all things wealth, health, and real estate. Today, folks, I've got a real special guest for you. My guest today is a former drug addict, a heart transplant survivor, turned author, turned motivational speaker, and he's here today to tell his story. Please welcome to the show, Frank Parisi.
Thanks for having me on, my brother. I appreciate you taking the time to have me on.
Thank you for taking the time. I saw your episode with Ross Mandel. I'm friends with Ross, and Ross was on my show, and love Ross. And I was down in Miami in May, and then I was on his podcast. He says, anytime you're down in Miami, you got to come down. I want you to come on my show. So I drove over to Boca and was on his show. And then I saw your episode, and not many podcasts leave me emotional. Yours did. And I said, I got to find this guy on Instagram. And I started looking at your content, and I'm like, I need this guy on the show to tell his story, because my show, Wealth Easy, we talk all things wealth, health, and real estate. And one of the big things that I heard you say wealth is health. You can have as much wealth as you want, is imaginable. If you don't have good health, the wealth means nothing. And I've heard you say that several times. And you were given a second chance at life, and you've taken that second chance, and you are making meaning out of it. And I want you to tell my listeners your story, because your story, man, if it doesn't leave people emotional today, there's something wrong with you. Because you have such an incredible story, and I want you to share it. And so take us back to your childhood. You grew up in Lower Manhattan. You grew up a couple of blocks away from John Gotti's clubhouse, you know, and that's where you started to get a taste of the drugs at a very young age. So take us back to your childhood, growing up Italian in Lower Manhattan, because I heard you say that what it is today is not like what it was before. It was even rougher before when you were growing up.
I mean, that's the thing. The news likes to instill fear into it. You know, I was born in 1979, you know, and crack cocaine just hit America in the early 80s. I grew up in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, which was actually where I grew up used to be called Little Italy. But, you know, things get regentified over time, and that part of Little Italy became Nolita now. But when I was a kid, it was Little Italy. And just to take the listeners through, you know, I don't know your age group, but I'm 45. And I grew up down the street from the first ever Def Jam studios, all the hip hop artists. It was new. So that was literally down the street from where I lived on Elizabeth Street. My family had a bakery. That part's not there, but the original one is still on Mott Street. The bakery where they used to bake the bread, I lived above it. So the retail store is still on Mott Street, but the wholesale where they used to bake it, I lived above it on Elizabeth Street. It was my family business. It's been in the family since 1903. And then around the corner from that was CBGB's. It was a punk rock club, one of the most famous punk rock. But the neighborhood was so seedy. On the corner of Bleecker Street, where I lived, was an awning above, believe it or not, a church. And the deal is like New Jack City. If you ever watched the movie New Jack City, when they all line up for the crack, like literally that's what it was like outside the church. And there would be shootouts all the time down the street from where I lived in the building. And literally 2 blocks down on Mulberry was John Gotti's Social Club. And back then there was no cameras. There wasn't instant access to everything. There was no police. AIDS just came out. Like, it was like Mad Max. And the thing that kept the neighborhood safe was the mob, was my uncles and my dad that would leave baseball bats in front of the bakery for anybody that was doing illegal activity. They would tell them, listen, you got to go down the street. And they would want to, this is how things were, you know? So that was my childhood. And my father was involved with the street and organized crime. And so, you know, it shaped you. 0 to 8 is like how you're shaped in your world and your reality. And my world and reality was not safe. You know, my mother used to tell me, back to the wall, eyes down, don't make eye contact, no one on the subway. That's the life that I grew up in. And then on top of that was like the subculture. My father was involved with the street, so we never talk about nothing. He also had his issues with substance abuse, and you can never let that be known in the street, because that's how you get taken out. People don't trust you.
So your father was a wise guy also.
He was involved. Yeah, he was
yeah.
Involved, man, and we all were. You know, like where I come from, it's not much to see. There's not. I'm talking to one of my friends recently, Brian, from where we come from. Like, all of our parents were blue collar. Everybody had a second hustle. No one's parents owned companies, and if they did, it was like a gas station or a bakery. You know, it was hard work. It come from hard, and we didn't have CEOs or attorneys or even big corporate. You know, that didn't exist where I was. So, like, in order to make it, your map is everything, right? So I only knew what I knew, and then I followed suit as I became older. You know, I started following. I was like, I'm not going to college. I'm counting 80, 100,000 in like 1999 with like the guys. You know, just observing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, there's no way. I don't want to do this. I want to be part of this, the camaraderie and all that. But the reality is, it's a very ugly life. And it seems, well, because we grow up in New York Italian and we watch Goodfellas and we watch Godfather and we see it around us and we want to become that. But when you step into that world, brother, it's gross. It's ugly. It's cutthroat. There's no one left. My dad, I don't bother with nobody. My dad died. Nobody shows up. And like then when somebody, you know, when problems arise, then you got to worry. You got to worry about your best friend doing something to you.
Yeah.
It's a life of disgustingness. And it led me down a road of addiction. All my trauma, how I grew up, all the things that I became, because I didn't have a solution. I only knew what I knew. I became a very person that I would not want to spend time with today.
So did you get involved? Did you get involved with drugs at a young age because you were seeking attention, or it was an alternative? You know,
brother,
because a lot of people.
So much pain. I was in so much pain from childhood. I knew what was going on wasn't normal, because I would go out to my cousins' houses in Jersey, and they had like deer, like how I live, and it was like nice, you know. And like here I am living in like even we moved to Staten Island. Even with that, it was like the same stuff, you know. And I just had so much pain from my whole life. Like, I got to do a lot of really cool things with my dad. My dad was phenomenal. You know, as the street went, so did our life. And like, he took me everywhere, like Stanley Cups. But 1995, you must be a hockey fan. You're in Canada. 1994, Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup. 94 Stanley Cup, Rangers versus Vancouver Canucks, Game 7. Mark Messier was like my hero. I'm 14 years old. But during that, like, this is like to get you an idea of like what it would look like. Like my uncle's there getting high. My dad's getting high. My uncle's friend smoking crack in the bathroom. But I'm at the Stanley Cup. You know, and then like insanity ensues after that. Like, after the Stanley Cup, they win. We go back to the bakery, and my dad gets into a fight with a bunch of guys and pulls out a machete and starts chopping them all up. And I'm sitting there watching it. You know what I mean? And then he takes me home, and he goes back into Manhattan. He comes back in a blackout and destroys my house. And now I got to go to school after the greatest night of my life and be functioning. After my house is destroyed, and I have to now run out of my house with my mother. And then he picks me up and drives me to school in his blackout. But today I know because of the work that I did, like that's not on him. That
Mhm.
was on him not to heal with all his traumas and his environment. But I see things so clearly today that all that had to happen in my life in order for me to become the man that I am today. So I see what it is, and I don't hold no resentment, and everything in life, it guides us to our true purpose and mission, you know. And my childhood as pain, that's just one, brother. You
Yeah.
understand? Like that's just one of many very like traumatic, sick, you know, hurtful things while there's like love in there. So there's so much confusion
Yeah.
because my dad showed up, but he showed up the way he only knew to show up because no one showed him how to show up.
Right.
And it gets passed down until somebody becomes the one, John.
Hey everyone, it's John. I just wanted to thank you for being here, and I would ask that you please subscribe to the show by just clicking the subscribe button right here. I'd really appreciate it. It helps grow the show so we can get even more successful guests on the program to help you. If you're already subscribed, a huge thank you. When you subscribe, you're going to get access to the program before anybody else does. So if you would, just click subscribe right here. Thanks so much, and welcome back to the Wealth Easy Show. You know what? And it's funny you say the one. That's Ed Milet's favorite line. Every family has the one. You know, I grew up. My story. I don't know if you know much about my story. I grew up Italian, and I only discovered a year ago my biological father. And I'm not even Italian. I'm fucking Scottish and Irish, but I'm Italian here. My stepfather's Italian. So I grew up my whole life thinking I'm Italian until a year ago. So for 53 years, I had this identity of being Italian. And my stepfather, he left when I was 8. And that was very traumatic for me. I was very close to my father. And we lived in an area that, you know, we weren't rich. We were extremely poor. We were on government assistance, subsidized housing. When my father left, you know, there wasn't a lot of drugs in the neighborhood, but kids, they tried to find comfort in something. I found comfort in food. And so I would eat to comfort myself. And I got to a point where by the time I was 15 years old, I was 255 pounds. I was a size 44 pant, and I got into high school and I was bullied. I was made fun of because I was so fat. I was so obese, but that was my comfort. I never, ever got into drugs, never even tried weed, never. That was just one thing that I just didn't do, but my comfort was food. And it took many years. It took so much bullying and, kids saying just not so nice things about you that I decided I'm going to turn this around, and I joined a gym. I cut school one day and I joined a gym, and the next thing you know, by the time I'm 23, I'm doing my first bodybuilding competition. I got a taste of the competing life. And then I'm like, I like this competing thing. And then I got into modeling, and next thing you know, I'm on the cover of calendars, and I'm getting attention. So from 23 to 31, I was a competitive bodybuilder. I'm 54 today, and I'm still in the gym 5 days a week. My wife was a fitness competitor in Italy. She used to compete in the bikini in Italy. And so I understand when you talk about trauma and pain of in a childhood, we all have our vices that give us that comfort. Now I want you to bring us back to July 31st, 2011. Because that was a night that changed your life.
Yes.
Tell us about
coming
that.
up on it.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on it. So yeah, July 31st, 2011. One of my good friends back in the day, I hope you're doing well. He came looking to my house in that insanity of addiction. I owe him like $400. I don't have. I'm 31 years old, John. I mean, like I want the listeners to hear this. I'm an open book. I literally wrote a book, you know, so I don't care.
And we're going to get into
because it gives
that.
people hope. It doesn't matter. Here I am, 31 years old. I'm just coming out of jail, right? I'm kicking opiates. I'm $50,000 in debt. And in comes this kid looking for money, $400 that I don't even have. A grown man that doesn't have. I'm living in a shack in Midland Beach, like the worst in Staten Island. It's like it's not nice, brother. You know what I mean? And my wife is an attorney on Wall Street, believe it or not. You know, she's actually defended me in court in the past. And here she comes out paying a grown man street debt $400. And I've had so many incomprehensible, demoralizing experiences. But for whatever reason, um, that day, it hit me. God granted me a moment of clarity. And I looked myself in the mirror and I said, Frank, it doesn't matter how you got in a ditch. I say this all the time. It doesn't matter how we get in a ditch. Like you're in a ditch. Like if you want to rerun of why you got here, you're not getting out. But if you flip it and you start to think of how am I going to get out of this pile of shit that I just created for myself over the past like 10 years, and I started to take accountability for where I was at in my life. It's never a victim in life. There was no more victim because that's what I held on to for so long. I didn't even know I was doing it. You know what I mean? I didn't even know I was playing the victim because I acted like this hard guy, but I was the biggest victim in the world. And I took full accountability. And my focus since then has been my recovery, my personal development, and service of others. I developed a relationship with God. I started to attend 12-step meetings. I worked the 12 steps. I became of service everywhere I went. And my life started to take on a whole new meaning, brother. I started to shift my frequency, my vibration. The 12 steps I love so much because it gets us out of self. It gets us in self-reflection, self-accountability. It has us clear the wreckage of our past, make amends with everybody, go out and serve. And then through that process of meditation and prayer and self-reflection and remaining that open channel, what we get to do is have intuitive thoughts. Now our thoughts start to shift on a different plane of like, man, maybe I should start a family. Maybe I could get a better career, a better job. Maybe I should start a business. Maybe I should start a family. Maybe I should, buy a house. And that's what I started to do. I started to invest in God, my recovery, the 12 steps, personal development. I started to go to therapy and I served in everything that I did. And I started to, I mean, like life in entrepreneurship is ups and downs.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I was able to wave those ups and downs. And as we go up and down, when we continue to go and we don't give up, like it's ups and downs, but it's a trajectory up, you know? And my life over the past almost 14 years has been that, as a result of complete surrender, finally surrendering to this disease and saying, you know what, I need to accept spiritual help, but there's no way that I can get to that place without taking action. And it's a daily reprieve. It's a daily thing that I do. I have daily protocols of how I show up. Like I told you today, prayer, meditation, intention, my workout, my water, my sunlight, my grounding. Man, then I'm ready to start my day. That's non-negotiable. Self-reflection, self-accountability at night, non-negotiable. I've learned through David Goggins because I spend time with him once in a while to take mental aid stations throughout the day. Like I'm the vessel. I'm the thing that's going to create. So in order to create, I need to make sure my central nervous system is set. So I make sure to stay in with my daily protocols, sauna, plunge, not every day, but those are all part of the daily protocols. And it will change your vibration and frequency. And through this process, true manifestation takes place because the law of attraction is real. We are vibrations and frequencies. We're magnetic. And when we vibrate at a certain frequency and we have vision of where we want our life to go, we make those non-negotiable agreements with ourselves and we show up every single day in discipline and consistency, cut out the fat, bring in the right people that are going to help the mission. Man, that's how we embrace abundance, brother. You know what I mean?
Do you feel, in order to vibrate high, you have to open up your chakras? We all have 7 chakras and
Yes.
you have to open them up. I mean, I believe in
You
meditation.
have to open them up. Meditation is so big. Visualization, prayer, bringing these all in, brother. It's how I've created everything. I mean, even we'll get into that more. Like what I've just gone through, overcome, faced. I mean, forget about it, dude. And I know that through meditation, like everything out here, John. And it's not woo because I've been through all this stuff and I'm manifesting it. Everything's out here. The universe is massive and all the information, like AI already been here. Someone just tapped into gathering that information. It's here for all of us.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Abundance is here for all of us. us. The hack to this entire experience is two things. Our currency is truly our frequency, and our health is truly our wealth. Because I can have all the money in the world. I was making a ton of money, right? I almost lost my life. What does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
It means nothing. But people chase that instead of chasing God, instead of chasing their health, instead of chasing their mission and their purpose. Because when we just chase the money, we lose ourselves, bro.
Oh, 100%. I totally believe when you're just chasing the dollar. In my business, I'm in wealth management, and you know, I have a very good life. I have an abundant life, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky." I mean, my family, no one in my family, is doing as well as I am, and that's by choice, my choice. And you know, there's a lot of family I've had to cut off. Because
I get that.
the jealousy, oh, must be so nice. You're so lucky. I said, you know what? You know what's interesting about luck is that the harder I work and the more people that I serve, the luckier I get.
Mm-hmm.
You got to serve people.
That's the energy that you have to cut that out. You know what I mean? That's what I say, like audit the circle, cut that energy out and make room for the energy that's on the same vibration and frequency of what we're walking at.
I've heard you say that before. Audit your circle. You know, I tell my son all the time, if you're in a group of 5 friends and you're the 6th and you have 5 broke friends, what are you? He says, I'm the 6th broke one. And I said, now, if you're in a circle of 5 wealthy, rich people, positive minded, and you're the 6th, what are you? He says, Dad, I'm the 6th wealthiest person. I said, absolutely. So always keep your circle tight and make sure that you're hanging out with those people. I said, because your network is your net worth.
Absolutely.
And don't ever forget that. And, you know,
people that are high achievers, John, have become that.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just born with that. We all work to get to become the people that we are, to attract the wealth that comes our way. It's not like go after the wealth. I become the wealth and it comes to me.
Right.
You know, people don't understand like the long nights, the sleepless nights. It's not a job. It's like entrepreneurship is completely different than just showing up to a job and taking weekends off. There are no weekends off. Your mind's constantly racing. You're constantly in this thing 24/7, 365. So like the people that say, oh, it must be nice, or you know, you're lucky, you know what? Like, you know, you're just lazy. You just, or that's just your path in life. But don't be mad at others that are, you know, have ambition, because you get punched in your face. Like I got punched in my face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just coming at it. I'm just coming at it. You know, and that's health and business.
Listen, and it's not for everybody. There's a lot of people that like the security. They like to trade time for money and punch that's okay. I'm not shitting on you. That's the people like that security. That's fine. But that security is only there until that entrepreneur says, I'm done. I'm going to retire. I'm not about trading time for money. What I try to teach my clients is let's trade time for equity.
Yes.
Build something.
Yes.
Right? That's my wealthies, all my wealthy clients. They never made the money in the stock market. They made their money investing in themselves, creating businesses, and real estate, investing in assets that produce a passive income. So, you know, I wrote a book. It's called Wealth Without Wall Street, and I talk about how the financial system is rigged against us, regular people. Mm-hmm. And your story in life kind of feels like a lot of people's lives, and can assimilate to you is it's rigged against us. How do you take back control? Because my book is Wealth Without Wall Street, Taking Back Control of Your Money in a Rigged Financial System. How do you take back control when everything seems stacked against us?
Oh man, it's just, honestly, brother, it's my faith. Entrepreneurship is spiritual, right? This whole game this whole game of life is it's unwavering faith, brother. It's trusting. It's blind faith. trusting with God, but like I have a relationship with him. So it's not like this is a foxhole prayer. It's like going back to everything when it was stripped. It was just me alone in that gym while I started to build myself back, just prayer and trust that everything was going to work out. And then through the trust and prayer, it's massive action, bro. Like it's the non-negotiable daily habits that I created this vision, and I'm going to show up in these agreements no matter what's going on, even a heart transplant.
So, you know, my listeners by now are thinking, okay, you know, this guy had a hard upbringing. I had a hard upbringing. But you went through something that almost nobody who survived has done. You actually, I heard you on a podcast, you had overdosed and you basically had died in a car. You were in the car. Was it was your girlfriend or your wife at the time?
Yeah, she was my girlfriend at the time.
At the time.
It's my wife.
Right. And you basically, you basically flatlined in the car? You dead?
Yeah, I OD. Yeah.
Tell us about that. And then I want to go into when you were actually in the hospital in 2023 and your arm, what happened with the nurse and what brought you into the hospital, because
no, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So back when I was in addiction, trying to get sober one night, and it's like, this is how, the universe, God, the source, the energy, whatever it is to everybody. I use the word God, but that's just the word I use to describe.
I think God is in us.
Yes.
I'm not a religious person. I believe in a supreme being. I believe in the universe. I believe that we are all souls living a human experience.
Yes. That's not even, you don't have to believe. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Yes.
Like that's the truth. You're not John and I'm not Frank, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So back in like 2006-ish, 5, I was struggling with addiction, and I was at a buddy of mine's house, and at his deli, he just opened the deli, and we were like getting messed up, and I didn't have what I usually had, and I just took whatever, and it was methadone. Usually I would take like Vicodin and stuff like that. And this was stronger, and I mixed it with Xanax, and I'm driving on Highland Boulevard in Staten Island, and next thing I know, my wife, who's like my guardian angel, and like just like I don't make it here without her. I'm not here without her. She was living on one part of Staten Island, I'm on another, and for whatever reason, she felt that night, because I truly believe, I know we vibrations, we feel each other. She felt something was wrong, and she came to my parents' house. I was living with them at the time, and I'm slouched over in the car, not breathing. And it was just intuitive feeling that she felt to come and come see me, because usually she would never do that at that time.
That's your spiritual guide, brother. That's your spiritual guide.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, like I know that.
Yeah,
I know that for a fact. Like I can't do this without her. I don't know what I would do without her, brother. And so she comes to the house, and she had a key to my parents' house, and she woke my dad up, and that's the insanity of addiction that driving me to the hospital, which I lived a block away. And there's so much shame associated with that. So like I remember them giving me charcoal to drink, and I threw it all up all night. This guy kept cleaning it up because they didn't know what was wrong, but it made me live. It gets rid of the toxicity. And I just remember having so much shame in that hospital bed. Like everybody knew now I had all the wires on me. And that's the insanity of addiction. Just like shame is like it's such a insidious emotion. And I remember being in that hospital for like 3 days, and I couldn't wait to get out to get high because I had so much shame, you know. And that kept me sick for another 5 years. You would think that would stop. It didn't. It wasn't until 2011, and I'm coming up on 14 years of sobriety, But all of that has to happen because I'm able today to go into the fire. You might have some listeners that might be struggling, and they're going to be like, this dude is going to be the guy that I'm going to go to. Because like this guy was in jail. He had no and I become successful in my life, brother. Like, I don't want to get all into it, but my net worth 7 figures. Like, we're doing good, like compared to where we were, and it's not even about like that. It's about the man that I became. It's about the person that I became. And I didn't know, brother, like 14 years ago when I was getting sober, like I just wanted to be off drugs and alcohol. Like that's all I wanted. But like today I know like that had nothing to do with me either. Like getting sober had nothing to do with me. And it's like it had everything to do with Sonny, my son, and his future generations, and me being able to go back into that fire and serve others and pull them out. That's why we get through these tests in life. You know what I mean? Because we have now the power to be able to go. Like I speak in jails. They listen to me. You understand? Because I've been there. But I also could go speak to corporate America. I'm the motivational speaker. So it's like, how beautiful is that to be able to reach everybody? You know what I mean? That's why I never questioned my path, or I never questioned the universe, God. It's always working in our favor,
I believe that we all reincarnate, and our souls, we have soul contracts.
I agree.
And it's designed. It's designed. It was, your soul contract was designed that way as we go through lessons. I think it's almost like a grade school. You have to learn these lessons to keep passing on, because when our soul does leave, I believe in past lives. I don't know if you've ever done this before. I did this twice now. We did what's called past life regression. You go under hypnosis.
I have a guy in my neighborhood that does this. How funny.
Buddy, I'm telling you, if I didn't experience it, I would not believe it's real.
No, it is, because
100%.
I had an intuitive feeling when I did leave that I'm a warrior spirit.
So I want to know, when you actually passed away, did you feel your soul leave your body?
When I died with the transplant.
Oh, when you went through the transplant, I want to hear about that, because that was pretty amazing.
So let's get into that now. You ready?
Yeah.
This is the list, because this is a whole story, but like
this is the buildup. This is the buildup.
This is it, and it freaks me out sometimes because we still get human emotions, but it's none of this is real.
Mm-hmm.
So January of 2023, I developed this cough chart, right? And I'm in Central Texas, so this is not abnormal. There's cedar trees everywhere. One of the highest allergy accounts in the whole entire country, United States, Central Texas. So every year I get these allergies, I get the cough, and I get like a B12 shot, and I get prednisone, steroids. A week it clears up. I go to a primary care physician. They just give me singular. I didn't like it. I read the side effects. I don't like these medications, bro. Everything's got a side effect. I started to feel like it was one of the side effects was like suicide for allergy medication. I get out of here. So I stopped taking that. I go to another primary care physician. She gives me the prednisone, right? And guess what? Nothing's getting better. Now I start to feel like disconnected from life, bro. Like I don't want to be here. This is like around February, like 2 months ago. I don't know why. I'm like, I'm not, like I love sports. I'm not, like just feeling. So I make an appointment with a medium in February. I want to talk to my dad. My dad died in 2020. I don't know why. Just intuitive. I want to see my dad. So I make this appointment. The appointment isn't until May. The cough continues to persist. And I now make appointments because now we're getting like worried. I make appointments with pulmonologists, cardiologists, and gastrointestinal because now I'm losing weight. I like you. I work out. I was a bodybuilder. I've been working out since I'm 17 years old. Since I'm 14 years old, I'm 45. Do the math, 31 years. Like you wouldn't even know I went through what I went through if you see me now, and I'm 45. So I go to the gastro. Everything comes back good. I go to the pulmonologist, and they say you have a rare pneumonia called organizing pneumonia. 20% of the population, no, 5% of the population has it after COVID. We're going to put you on high dose steroids and high dose prednisone. You're going to be on 60 milligrams of prednisone. We're going to wean you down over 6 months. And at this time, I got a consulting business. I'm helping build this company out. We're like turning profit. Like I took it from no profit to loss to like, you know, we're like 8 million in top line revenue. Things are flowing. And I'm like, what's going on here? I got to now be on these meds for 6 months. This is going to stop all this stuff, not even knowing what I'm about to face. So I canceled the cardiologist appointment because I just literally went to 2 specialists, right? And I've been diagnosed. So the cough gets worse. I call the doctor. Now, John, I would literally feel like I'm dying. Like I'm like I'm telling people to pray for me. I got an energy coach coming here to like do like anything on me, dude. I'm watching the movie Heal. I'm like listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm like meditating. I'm like, God, what is going on here? Like nothing's getting better. Now I start coughing this orange stuff up. The doctor gives me more meds. On May 8th of 2023, brother, I cough up this much blood.
Jeez.
Yeah. I cough up that much blood. And then I go to see my doctor in Austin that morning. My wife drives my son, bro. I'm like holding on by a thread here. I've never felt so bad in my life. I can't hold food down. I'm throwing everything up. And so the doctor's like, what happened to you? And I'm like, what do you mean what happened to me? You know, it's like a medical profession, bro. Like, take care of yourself. Everybody. Pour into your health. Half of it's a guessing game. You're lucky. Yeah, you go through something like this. They admit me into the hospital. And so I'm there now for several hours. And my son's getting out of school now. My wife's got to leave to go be with him because all my family's in New York. I got a 6-year-old boy at the time. And so she leaves, and now they're treating me for sepsis. They say I have sepsis. They still misdiagnosing me, bro. 17 years. One of the nurses comes in. She puts the wrong pick in my arm.
Yeah.
Now I'm in there by myself. I get this burn on my arm. And then the doctor comes in and goes, Mr. Parisi, you don't have sepsis. You have 9% ejection fraction. Your heart, your liver, and your kidneys are failing. And we're going to take you to all places, my brother. Not Austin, not San Antonio, not Dallas, not Houston. Those are 4 most populated cities in our country, okay? They're going to take me to a town of 20,000 people with cows called Temple, Texas. All of this fine, John. We're not John and Finn, okay? So I drive up and like I just see things so different. Those 2 guys that drove me up in the ambulance looked at me like I was delayed bread delivery. They were upset that they had to drive me up. You know what I mean? While I'm fighting my life. And when you talk about like what gets you through these things, it's like God, prayer, the universe, my meditation, my vision. And I drive up to this hospital with these ambulance guys, and it's now May 9th, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, and my wife's waiting there with my picture of my 8-year-old son, my 6-year-old son at the time, begging me to live, brother. You feel me, bro? Like, I don't know if you got kids, brother, but that picture saved my life, bro.
Yeah.
And then, brother,
I have a
they're like,
son.
we're gonna put him on the most advanced form of life support called ECMO machine, and we don't know if he's gonna make it. But there's a doctor there that's not there no more, bro. And we're gonna get into some crazy shit, John. There's a doctor there that's not there no more. His name's Dr. Reddy, and he brought his whole team from New York. He brought other doctors. They go from like Mount Sinai and Lenox Hill, and so they put me under, but he didn't need the ECMO. He reversed everything. But during that time, I died. And I left my body. And it's like a dream of when you float out of your body. Like, you ever fly in a dream? That's what it was like, brother. Like, my spirit left my body, and I was looking at myself on a ventilator, my wife next to me. And my friend was with me, because I've been sober so many years and been in the mental health and substance abuse facility industry for so long. I've helped so many people, bro. Like thousands, bro. You know what I mean? And one of my friends from New York, I helped, and he went back to that life and wound up getting killed. And he was with me, bro. And there was a voice that told me he's there. Like we communicate I communicated telepathically, and there was a voice that told me that he's here to take me to what's next. And at that time, brother, I had a vision of my son growing up without me, walking with him. And I said to the voice, I said, please let me go. And they gave me the option. He said, we'll let you come back, but you're gonna suffer. So now I come back and I'm in this hospital bed for 9 days. I got a pump in my and I got doctors walking in with hazmat suits, bro. They're wearing hazmat suits because the orange stuff that I'm coughing up, they think it's tuberculosis. But really it's blood going from my heart to my lungs. And I'm in this bed for 9 days, brother. I can't walk. I'm losing 45 pounds, brother. And now they're telling me I might need a heart transplant or a mitral valve. Definitely gonna need to get my chest cut open. And I'm like, I don't understand this because 2 weeks ago I was working out. Like, how? Why? They still don't know. The vaccine did it, but like, and the trauma and all that. But I could get that. I don't even care. Like, it was all part of the plan and the mission. It was all part of this. This was had to happen. So now I'm in the bed for 9 days. And what's the odds, John, that I have the appointment with the medium, bro, that I booked in February? Like, you can't make this stuff up, bro.
Yeah. You booked an appointment with the medium. Yeah. For May.
In February. And it's in May, and I'm fighting for my life in a hospital bed. And now I got this appointment with the medium. So my wife's like, I don't want you to talk to her. And I'm like, well, I don't care because like this doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. It all makes no sense. So I get on and you can Google my name. Like if you Google Frank Parisi Mafia, like that'll pop up. Like you could read about stuff. You know, and you Google me and it's like all motivation and stuff like that. But you know, everything, brother. She knew stuff that like only we would know. But it goes like this. As I told you, Dr. Reddy brought his whole team from New York. And Dr. Reddy's not even at that hospital no more. I'll tell you what hospital he's at later. He brought his doctors from New York. The whole team's there. One of the doctors, what's the odds? 20,000 people in Temple, Texas. It's cows. What's the odds? What's the odds? The same college as my wife in Staten Island, brother. In a town of 20,000 people. You know, I see what the universe was doing. It was putting people here for me to bring comfort. It was giving me wings. So I'm on the phone with this medium, and she goes, "All your doctors from New York." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, your dad sent them there for you." And she goes, keeps telling me about a pendant and a chain and a birthday. And my mom came in the next day, and I told her about all this, and she goes, "Today's your grandmother's birthday." I never knew my grandmother. She died when my dad was 14. May 19th was her birthday. She goes, she kept telling me about a pendant and chain. I didn't know about no pendant and chain. My mom goes, when your dad died, your Aunt Dolores gave a pendant of your grandmother to me. I gave it to your father's sister, your Aunt Camille. John, I am in the bed, and I FaceTime my aunt. She's wearing the pendant and chain, bro. Oh, I know, brother. I knew then. I knew then, like I knew in that moment that this did happen. That did happen. I did leave here. This is real. And bro, maybe you ain't been here before, Frank. You've been here, bro. You've been in jail. You've been in institutions. You've been in rehabs. You've been in situations you didn't know you were gonna get out of. But the difference is today, brother, you got God. You got recovery, you got personal development, and you know, bro, when you're at your lowest in life, what you need most is love, and life's a mirror. And I don't give a fuck how down you are, you better start giving love to others. And I started to do that, brother. I started to buy the nurses breakfast, lunch. Then I started to walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking miles a day, bro. They got me a Superman cape. They put 13 staples in my chest. I was addicted to opiates. I took ibuprofen, bro, because now they got this pump in my chest that's going to keep me alive to see if my heart's going to recover. And my heart doesn't recover, bro. So now I need a heart transplant. But it doesn't matter because I'm still showing up in the agreements that I made with myself. And the same goes for business, as in life, as in everything. The man that I developed 14 years ago had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with my future generations, with my son, and to be able to serve even in my death. I still served. I was calling people that I sponsored in AA, how you doing? They're like, what are you calling me for? This kid, Johnny, comes walking in, of all people. My wife would guard the door. And I said, Johnny, what are you doing here? She went to the bathroom. He goes, bro, you're Superman to me. You took me out of that house 8 years ago. I owned a treatment center. I didn't have, I kicked down the door. I pulled this kid out of the house. I gave him a scholarship to my place for free. I let him live there for 3 months, changed his whole life. He's got 8 years of sobriety. Guy came and visited me. That's what matters in life. Showing up for other people. So I started to serve in the darkest of times, and now I have to get a heart transplant, bro, and an arm debridement. And I haven't seen my son. When I see him, I gotta put FaceTime. I gotta put a thing over me because I don't want him to see all the wires in his father. Why do I never give up my son, bro? It's my why, my purpose, brother. And now they put me under, bro, and they're gonna do an arm debridement. And now I gotta get on a heart transplant list. And they said, because you're on O positive, that it's gonna be 6 to 8 weeks before you get on this list. So I'm like, good. They could do the arm debridement. I could get this done because this much of my arm's gonna be missing. It's gotta grow back. They gotta clean it. It's gotta grow back. They gotta clean it. It's gonna take about a month for the skin to get level enough to where they could cut my leg open and do that surgery, and then I could get the heart transplant because I definitely don't want to get the heart transplant because once you get a heart transplant and then do that surgery, this might not take because my immune system's always going to be compromised for the rest of my life because you take a medicine that lowers your immune system so that the heart is accepted by the body. So I go and I get the arm debridement on June 1st, brother. And then they come in the next day and they tell me I got a heart in 1 day.
Unbelievable. 1 day. Wow.
And how do you deal with that? Is everything is nothing but complete surrender? Bullshit. My faith is so strong. The universe and God's always working in my favor because I fucking said it is. Belief is stronger than fact. Look at our world. People walking around with purple hair, thinking that they're, whatever they are. Belief is stronger than fact. So I'm going for the transplant and I get it. And I come out of the transplant and I have a sign. If you look at my Instagram, I put, I don't care because I came to, I wasn't supposed to come to. I came to on the ventilator like 4 times. All the procedures and surgeries that I went through. And I'd be awake on the ventilator. And I said, let me write something because I can't talk. And I wrote, I don't care about pain. I'm grateful to feel and be alive. And like gratitude and love and empathy and service are like the highest forms of emotions that we could operate from, but besides enlightenment. And I get this gift, man, and I said to myself, like, it's never a victim in life, right? It's always these two questions. And for the listeners, it's always these two questions. Even in like if we're talking about entrepreneurship or whatever, struggles in life, but especially in your struggles in life, the two questions will change your life because it changed mine. It's what's the gift and what am I gonna become because of it? So that was my mindset in the hospital, and I started to write a book, John, just in case I was gonna die. My son and his future generations would have the blueprint of where dad came from, what transpired from to become the man that he knew, and the blueprint of how to do all this stuff. And then
I
that
wrote
book,
that down,
I
by the
started to
way.
write this book in the hospital.
I heard you say that on another podcast, and I actually pulled over my car and I went into my notes and I wrote that in there. What is the gift that you're going through, and what are you going to become from it? I wrote that down, brother.
That's telling
Yeah.
you know,
that hit me.
this is motivational speaker. I serve humanity today. I serve all. How about this, John? I come back out of the hospital. Now I got to get a skin graft surgery. Once I got the skin graft surgery on July 14th, believe it or not, then it was go time. Now it was let's build our body back to the greatest body that you ever could have. Bro, I got a six pack. I'm 45 years old, heart transplant survivor. I'm in the best shape of my life. My book became a bestseller in the summer of last year. In the summertime of last year, I go and get the mail, John, on a Friday night. Never get the mail. Wife gets the mail. And I definitely ain't getting it on a Friday night at 5 o'clock. But I got it on a Friday night on 5 o'clock. And it's my donor's family. And it's my donor's mom and dad. And I call them for the first time and I speak to them. Parents are divorced, and I speak to Cora, the mother. She's a beautiful lady. And like, what's the odds? Like, the next day, Matthew Beard is renewing his vows of his wife of 10 years and invites me and my family out to the renewal vows, bro. And I get to meet my donor's sisters and parents. And my donor was a 19-year-old girl named Kaylee Bearden, bro. She died in a car accident, and like her little sister was with her. And her little sister listened to her heart and my body. The whole family did. What's the odds that I just spoke at Aspire Tour this past week, and I had Matthew come. I had him come while I speak, bro. And what's the odds that Dr. Reddy, we didn't know where he went, but he's at Matthew's wife's hospital. What's the odds that my niece has needed a kidney transplant since she's born, and I become a social media influencer and I do a call to action for my niece? What's the odds 2 weeks before I'm dying, she's with me, bro? What's the odds I do the call to action for and I get 175,000 views for people to donate for my niece? What's the odds that 20 people donate for her? What's the odds that my Tona's sister and mom tested for my niece? We have 2 matches. Like, come on, bro.
Those aren't odds. That was all planned.
All planned,
It
brother.
was all planned. They're not odds. It was all planned. And they're all planned to teach us lessons.
Yes. Yes. And to be able to like show the true power that we all hold in us, because God is in all of us, the universe is in all of us. We're more powerful than we could even realize. I'm living proof. How about the fact that in April, that company that I was talking to you about cut me after 5 years of helping them build? You're not doing well right now. But how about losing all your income? How about losing everything, your heart, your income? What do you do now? What do you do now? You go and create. You know, I now called Emotion Wellness. It's adults in San Antonio, Texas. I have a podcast today. I have 3 other businesses that are startup, that are in the seed startup raise, and I'm doing motivational speaking and mindset coaching. That's in September. So there's no such. There's like, what's stopping you? Your own limited beliefs, traumas, and environment. And once we heal all of that, brother, uh, the world's our oyster.
It's remarkable to hear people fucking complain about the small shit in their life. And then I listen to you. And if anybody has a reason to complain, it would be you. But you don't complain. You use it as motivation to go out and serve people. And I believe this was your sole purpose. You wrote a book, Embrace Abundance. So after losing everything multiple times, how do you define abundance now?
It's how my home vibrates, brother. It's when I walk in that door and my son knows who's coming in that door, and so does my wife. Yeah. My sole purpose is my son is my legacy. So like abundance is pouring into my faith, pouring into my family, pouring into my health, pouring into my hustle, and pouring into my purpose. Those 5. It can't, for me, it doesn't exist abundance without all 5. Most people get caught in hustle and they win in business and they fail at life.
You were walking 5 miles a day in the ICU. How do you get 5 miles?
They got me a Superman.
They would play the Superman.
It's on my reels. They have a plaque of me at the hospital.
I saw that on your Instagram, bro. They give you a Superman cape and you're walking 5 miles a day.
Do you know how many heart transplant survivors that reach out to me, people that are facing it, people in addiction? I know my purpose. I demonstrate the universe's power. We all have it. We just don't realize it. We're more powerful than we believe. We're just in this body, but our spirits are so powerful. Our frequency could be raised to elevations that we can never, ever believe. Look at where I come from and look at what I've created and what I'm going to continue to create. There's more coming. There's a lot more stuff in the works that, I'm not where I was as far as like we're building again, So it's like, it's starting to trickle, but I know the faucet is going to be like a waterfall. It's just taking time, everything. Just like I had to get my physical back, my mental back. Now the business is getting built back. Everything's getting built back, but it's getting built back like 100x compared to where it was last time.
Yeah.
And abundance is like not the destination, it's the journey. And it's the people that you're walking the journey with. That's going to really create your life, your relationships.
You had all the markings in the beginning as a child to be a complete criminal, in and out of jail, a complete shithead. But you used that and turned it all around. And not many people do that. And then use that as the motivation to do better. My childhood was not as bad as yours, but it was rough. It was not good. And I turned for attention, I turned to stealing. I used to go into stores and steal small stuff. And I liked the competition of it, trying not to get caught until I got caught one too many times. And I got threatened with a juvie home. And I turned that around, and I'm a financial advisor today. I'm licensed up the ass with any possible license you can think of. It could have been really bad where I could never be licensed. My father left when I was 8, barely saw him. My mother was 26, raising 4 kids when he left. I could have used that as a crutch to say, well, I am this way because of my childhood. But you said something that I completely 100% wholeheartedly believe in, and that is you wanted to be a better version of yourself for the next generation, for your son.
Yes.
I am living my life as the best version of me because I know that everything that I do, my son is watching me. My son is going to be 14 next month. And he just graduated from grade 8. He's going into grade 9. He graduated with straight A's. He's an 88 average, academic average. He tells me, Dad, I want to go to summer school. I'm thinking, what 13-year-old do you know that can't wait for summer, just wants to hang out with his friends, play video games, but says, Dad, I want to go to summer school because I want to get grade 9 math out of the way so I could do grade 10 math next year. And every summer, I want to bang off another credit. He finishes with a 95 average in grade 9 math. This kid surprises me every day. His work ethic is incredible. And my wife said to me, she goes, because your work ethic is incredible.
Right.
I'm up at 4:30. I work till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I try not to work when he's with me because we have divorced homes. So he lives part-time with his mom, part-time with me. But when he's there, I coach Little League. I'm always there trying to do things for him. So he sees how hard I work. I run 3 businesses. He says, He gets his work ethic from you. So I love what you say is that we need to show up for our kids and we need to be the best version as we can because they are watching.
Absolutely.
And if I turned out, I could have been that guy that, walked out on him when his mom and I separated, he was 3 years old. I could have been that guy that just didn't show up and say, okay, you want to leave? Go. But I was there. I was there all the time. I fought for my kid. And today, my son and I, we have the most incredible relationship. Like, we are buddies. Like, it's incredible. It's the best.
Nothing
it
better,
is the best. And I see him when as he's growing up, I see the man that he is becoming, and it just makes my heart so full.
John, that's all I want God to grant me is like that time to watch him because like that is my greatest. Like I've done a lot of cool stuff, but there's nothing better than raising my son and like seeing the work because I put work in with him. I coach him. I take him with me to work. You know what I mean? It's summertime now, so I literally will take him with me. He's like, and I teach him about everything, and I just can't wait to see this kid grow up and what his life's gonna be like. I just want to be here for that, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm good.
On the Wealthy Show, and with my clients, I talk about plugging financial leaks, where people are unknowingly losing money and unnecessarily. What life leaks do you see that people need to stop sabotaging in their own progress?
Oh man. Well, I mean, most important, a clear mind, right? I think if you're dibbling and dabbling with alcohol or any form of drugs, even recreationally, it's going to put a hindrance on your full capacity and full capability of what it is you're trying to do. So eliminating that, definitely number one. And then also most important is, uh, if you're starting a business, uh, it's making sure that you're bringing in the correct people to help the mission and in life as well, auditing your circle and being around people that see you for where you are and even further down the road of where you see yourself. Because, like I said, belief is such a powerful emotion. And when we're around that frequency of people believing in us and in that energy, all things are completely possible in life, in business, in anything you're trying to achieve.
For our listeners right now, for someone who is just looking to rebuild their life, but they feel hopeless, they feel clueless, Give me 3 strategies. Give me 3 things that they need to do today.
Okay, first is get a whiteboard, and you're gonna write down what is the greatest version of yourself, and you're gonna create a vision of what's the greatest version of yourself. From there, you're gonna make a contract, an agreement with yourself that you're gonna show up in these principles and agreements that you make in order to make this vision a reality. Third thing is you're going to shut the noise, whether that's a heart transplant, whether that's whatever it is. You're going to shut the noise, and your only focus is going to be taking massive action every single day. Like you just said, 4:30 to 7 p.m. every single day until that vision, 7 days a week, until that vision is a reality. And most importantly, is auditing that circle and making sure you're with the people, cutting out the energy, because not everybody's there for your higher self. Cutting that energy out and allowing that room and space for the correct people to help you on that mission.
I that last point, 1,000,000% auditing your circle, because you talk about having a high vibration. And if you're around people that are giving off a low frequency,
Dude,
it's going to bring you down.
you got to attract it to that.
Yeah.
It'll stop your creation, your intuition, all of that. It's all energetic. This whole world is. That's the thing about people. Think about this right now. 30 years ago, if we talked about doing this, we'd be like, this is crazy. This was like RoboCop. Like there's invisible waves that are going through from Canada to America in Texas that we're able to communicate and see one another. Yeah. Oxygen, which gives us life, we don't see. So people like think maybe a lot of the stuff we spoke of is woo-woo, but the reality is like you're living in woo-woo, like Wi-Fi. Explain that to me. Explain oxygen that I can't see. Like all of this is real. This, like Bob Marley said, like tap into the invisible waves of the universe and let them guide you. You know?
What's the one thing that you want to leave my listeners to understand about rock bottom? And that it's not the end of the story, but potentially the beginning of their greatest chapter.
But the greatest stories in lives. It's never a victim. You're not a victim. You're in this place to be able to grow. You're like the bamboo just waiting to explode. You know, you plant the bamboo, you water it for 5 years, it doesn't do nothing. But then all of a sudden, in 90 days, it's grown freaking 90 feet. And that's what it's like. That's what recovery, that's what rock bottom's like. That's what business is like. That's what life's like sometimes. You're getting punched in the face and you're walking up the steps and it doesn't look like you're going anywhere. But when you look back a month, 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, then you see all the work, and it's not getting caught up in the day. Just continue to push forward. Don't let the day break you. Stay on the path of where you're going. Rock, like when I was in the ditch, I saw my recovery. When I was in the bed, my brother, I saw all of this. I saw. I even saw, because the universe will do things in your favor. The business that I helped grow had to go because I wasn't aligned with any of the people there. It was only through financial gain. And I'll never do that again in business either, or life. Everything is through alignment and core values and principles. That's how I move, only.
I love a saying by Ed Milet, and he says, pain is temporary. And the version of yourself when you come out on the other side is never the same person. You come out a better version, and it's only temporary. And you're proof. You are living proof of that. Like, I honestly can't think of anyone that I've ever met in my lifetime that has hit further rock bottom than you have. And look at you today.
Brother, and look, I want to show the listeners. I did this with Ross too, but like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? 45.
Yeah.
Scars over me. Heart transplant 2 years ago.
Incredible.
Nothing stops us.
Yeah. Only
Nothing.
only our limiting beliefs will
Our
stop
limited
us.
beliefs.
Yes. Yes. Brother, this has been better than I even expected. I was so looking forward to this. And, you know, when I do come up to Texas, I do
Dude,
tell
you
my
come
wife,
stay at my house.
I want to come up and I want to show her Texas and I want to meet you in person. And I want to be friends for life because you motivate me and you inspire me that nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible in life if you believe in yourself and you believe in the greater good. And I want people to reach out and connect with you. Please show up your book and tell my listeners how they can get your book. It's
My
called...
book is on Amazon. It's called Embrace Abundance. It's a bestseller. I actually went bestseller in Canada, Germany,
Congratulations.
and here in the States. So I have like a lot of good friends up in Canada. I'm actually going to start doing this speaking tour we're creating. I don't really want to give too much about it, but it's going to be with a lot of NHL ex-players, and we're going to be doing a lot of mental health stuff. So I have a nice following in Canada. I feel like God's like putting me in Canada a little bit over here.
Well, please, anytime you're up here and you're in Toronto, please let me know. I
I
want to
will,
hang out with
bro.
you.
If you come to Texas, let me know, please.
Yes, I will. And please let my listeners know how they can follow, because you are on social media, your Instagram. Let them know, because I love your page. Like you post such inspiring stuff. I think I post inspiring stuff. You post fucking really inspiring shit, man. And I love the stuff you do with your son. Like I dig that, because I post a lot of stuff with me and my boy. Like he's my world. He is my why.
I love that.
And I know your son is your why too. So please tell my listeners, give us your Instagram, your YouTube,
Sure.
your podcast.
On
Let them know
IG,
how they can follow you.
Frank Parisi 2011, TikTok. I started with that like a few weeks ago. We're growing that. It's at Frank Parisi 2011. On Facebook, it's Frank Parisi. My YouTube channel is Frank Parisi. And then I have the substance abuse and mental health facility in San Antonio, Texas. It's called Emotion Wellness. We also have a podcast. Follow us on YouTube. I have to get you on my podcast. And subscribe to the Emotion Wellness podcast. I also am involved with this company called Sober Water. Get me the bottle. It's a water company where we're ending plastic, and the portion of the proceeds are going to building out a sober living community and treatment facility in Durango, Colorado. We're also looking for investors.
Nice.
So if anyone's looking to invest, hit me up. It's a great mission. Everything that we're doing is mission driven. It's purpose over profits. God will bless with all that, because when you're really in alignment and serving, it's what makes for success in life, because we're giving value to others. And that's how we create this whole currency of wealth, both for people and for ourselves.
You know what? Money is a currency. It's current. It flows, and it's energy.
It flows.
That's what they call currency.
It's energy.
It's energy.
Yes.
It flows.
Like water.
Yeah.
That's why they call it currency.
That's right. Exactly. Buddy, this has been incredible. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to following you and watching you grow even more. And when I do come out to Texas, I am going to hit you up, and we are going to go out. Yeah.
Well, let's stay in touch, please. I mean, we build connections through this. My whole life we've connected. So vulnerability breeds connection, brother. It just does. Yeah. And connection breeds like healing and growth. Yeah. In all areas. So,
Yeah. Fantastic. Super. Guys, please grab Frank's book, Embrace Abundance. And while you're at it, you can go on Amazon, my book, Wealth Without Wall Street, Taking Back Control of Your Money in a Rigged Financial System. It shows you how to plug your financial leaks and learn the secrets that the banks aren't going to tell you. That's all for today. Take care of your wealth and your health.